welcome back to my channel. We are filming another episode of the Lunar Knits Podcast. My name is Lori, this is Makoa, my little co-host, and today we have a little bit of knitting content for you, and yeah, I think it's been 2 weeks since my last podcast, which, guys, 2 weeks, not like 2 months. So, I don't have like a ton to show you, but I feel like I made a decent amount of progress on some things, so I can't wait to get started. I have my little plant over here today. This is my monstera that I just got. I got him on clearance at Home Depot for $8, and he is thriving. He's gorgeous. His name is Monty. He just popped this new leaf. I don't know if you guys can see, but oh, it's a perfect leaf. I can't wait for him to just keep growing and thriving. So I just wanted to pop that in because he wasn't here the last time. Also, I have these like little hoop earrings that are just like a little loop and they have a little hole. It's kind of like a jump ring, and my hair is currently stuck in this one. So you might see me like messing with that throughout this podcast. So anyways, it is Sunday morning around 10 o'clock. I just took some photos of this little set that I'm about to show you guys, which is my finished object. And I wanted to just jump right into filming the podcast today because I'm feeling motivated. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into finished objects. So as you can see, I have something on here. I finished my cute little matching set by Jessie Mae Designs. So the last time I talked to you guys, I showed you the shorts I was working on. They're called the So Summer Short, and I was about to split for the legs. So I have since finished those. They're cute little high-waisted shorts here in this adorable pink color. Sorry they're wrinkly. I've been wearing them and sitting on the couch and whatnot. They're so flowy and comfortable. And then I made the little outline tank by Jessie Mae as well to complement the shorts. So I used the same yarn for both of them. I got the yarn from Knit Crate. It was in a box I think I got last summer. It was a superwash wool linen and silk blend. So it's perfect for the summertime and it's so comfy. It dried so fast when I blocked it. I did film a little how I blocked it portion of this video that I'll insert in just a minute, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the pieces. So the shorts I talked about last time, they're super simple construction, basically like a raglan, but in short form. So I think a beginner could totally do them. You do need to learn a provisional cast on, which isn't as intimidating as you might think. I like to do the crochet chain and then pick up those stitches and start knitting, and then you can just rip out the crochet chain later on. That's my favorite method for that cast on. And then you would do like the waistband, so you have to make an I-cord, which is not my favorite thing to do, but you definitely need it for these shorts. I made a size large because I got a big booty, and I definitely think they're a little bit big. I could have probably done a size medium, but ultimately I'm glad I went with a large because I would rather them be a little too big for me to grow into rather than too small and make me feel bad about myself. So the size large is what I did for myself, and I knit them exactly to pattern. And then when I blocked them, I think I blocked them a little too aggressively because they kind of like stick out. You see that? I wish they would still kind of roll up a little bit. So whenever you're blocking, I'm going to put how I did it in here. I'll just insert it right now. Hey guys, so I thought it would be fun to add a little snippet to the podcast about how I'm blocking this little set that I showed you guys. I used, I believe this is a superwash merino linen and silk blend, so it's an interesting yarn. I soaked it for 15 minutes in my wool wash as I normally do. I rolled it up in a towel and then I stepped all over the towel to get the excess water out. And I've pinned it to my rugs, and I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like now that I've pinned it. The strategy that I went with to block a pair of shorts and a little tank top with drop stitches. 2 things I've never blocked before. So this is what I came up with, and I hope it works best for me. So let's show ya. All right, so I just have them on a towel here. I did see on somebody's Instagram story the other day, and they said not to block on a towel, and they were doing it on a trash bag. That's an idea, something maybe I should consider trying, but this is what I'm doing for now. So I have pinned the shorts just at the bottom so the hem wouldn't roll as bad, I hope. And then I stuck 2 water bottles on either side so I don't get a seam, because I don't want a seam in my pictures. What I did was I started on this side and I unrolled the hem and I kind of pulled it a little bit taut so this would unroll naturally, because if the back was tighter, then this is going to pull in order to compensate for that. So I unrolled it until it all started to unroll, and then I pinned it in the corner, and then I kept unrolling until it was straight, pin, and I did the same thing all around, and then I folded the middle crotch area out so everything was nice and taut up here. I put another pin, and then I just mimicked the same technique on the other side. Again, I have the water bottles in here to help with the seam and also to keep it shape a little bit better, and then it's also going to help it dry faster too because it's letting some air in. And then for the tank top, it's kind of the same concept. So I started pinning on this side. So I pinned it all the way down flat, so this was perfectly in the center. And then I put some more pins across, and then I made sure that this was all lined up, and I pinned it down as well. I wanted to add a little bit of length to this top, so I aggressively pulled the straps, and I pinned them down. And then I pulled out the side so this would open up, this little design. And I just pinned those. And then whenever I was finished, I took out the 2 corner pins and I put water bottles in, again, to avoid that seam and to help it dry a little faster. I even considered putting a little water bottle in here as well, but I think it'll be fine. So that is what they look like, blocking. And I'm just going to leave them until they dry. This is the kind of blocking pins that I've been using. I've had these for a very long time. They're by Knitter's Pride, and they're the rainbow knit blockers. I would love to have another set, but this one set goes quite far. I mean, I blocked all of these pieces. Granted, I didn't have to put pins everywhere. I also do have a lot of those T-pins too that work as well, but I really like these. They have a big one, and then they have like these smaller ones that come in the same kit. So I really recommend these if you guys are looking for something to use to block your projects. So yeah, back to the podcast. So I recommend whenever you guys block your shorts to not pin them the way I did. Just put water bottles in the leg section further down instead of pinning them, because I got like a weird flare to the shorts, and I don't love that. So I might like reblock them or throw them in the dryer for a little bit and see if that helps any. So that's just my one thing with the shorts. Nothing to do with the pattern, all to do with my blocking method. Also, a reason I think the shorts are a little too big is they kind of like look diapery in the crotch. There's just a lot of fabric there. So if I hike them up really far, which I don't mind doing because I like high-waist it, plus this top is very short, then they're not so bad. But if they kind of fall like to my belly button, then they definitely get a little diapery in the crotch. So just a little note there. Whenever you're choosing your size, make sure you're choosing accordingly to how your yarn is going to grow. I did not swatch like normal, and that's probably my downfall. I don't know. I think they fit great, but yeah, you guys can see pictures over on my Instagram, which is at Lunar Knits by Lori. I just posted some today, and they're also on my Ravelry, but I know a lot of people aren't using Ravelry right now, so they're on my Instagram. And maybe even the title or the thing of this video. What is that called? A thumbnail. Okay, now onto the outline tank. I made this with the leftover yarn, and it's worked bottom up. So I had just a little bit of yarn left, so I could have extended the body just a little bit. I made the body shorter than the pattern called for, and the pattern already called for it to be pretty short, so that was definitely a risk I took. I made the second size because that's what I felt I had enough yarn for. And it's honestly, it grew a little bit with blocking. When I tried this on last night, my underboob was definitely sticking out. I am wearing a bra right now, but when I took the pictures, I did not wear a bra. And when I tried it on last night, I didn't have one on. So it definitely was a little too short. So I aggressively blocked it, as you guys saw in that clip. And it did help quite a bit. It meets perfectly with the shorts, and I feel comfortable wearing it. This pattern was pretty simple. But I did mess up on like the drop stitches on one of the sides. It did not line up because I think what happened is on one of the purl sides, I dropped a stitch, so that messed it up and it got me off center of where my drop stitches were. So it was actually on the back panel, which is great, so nobody's really gonna notice. And I don't think you can notice it anyways because of how I fixed it. But basically when I dropped the stitch, it dropped to the decreases. So every time it would pull a stitch, it would pull all the decreased stitches out as well, which was so frustrating. And I had to put it in timeout for a couple of days, or else I could have finished this tank top a lot quicker than I did. But I put it in timeout, and then last night after I got home from work and doing some of the chores I wanted to do, I finally was like, all right, Lori, it's time to fix your mistake. So basically I just finished dropping the stitch all the way down, and then I stopped as soon as I got to the bottom so it didn't pull the ribbing out, because again, it did not line up with the little yarn over that's supposed to stop it. So I sewed that stitch down so it wasn't unraveling anymore, and then I went back to the top where all those drop stitches were, and I kind of crocheted them together basically. It makes sense whenever you're doing it, like it's very logical if that's the way it should be done, but explaining it's kind of hard, so sorry. But basically what I want to tell you with this tank top is when you go to split for the panels, just make sure the stitch that you're going to be dropping, which I think is like the third stitch from the edge, is lined up with the yarn over at the bottom. And if you do that before you start knitting the whole thing, you will be solid. I did that after that panel I messed up. It was the second stitch that I dropped. So the first stitch I dropped was fine, so I was feeling pretty good. And then I got to the second stitch and it just did not line up. And I couldn't figure out why. I kept pulling it back up and trying to move it over one stitch and move it over this way, but it just was not working out. So finally I was like, you have to go in timeout. We will deal with you later. And so all the other panels, I made sure the stitches lined up before I dropped it, because it's already stressful enough to drop a stitch on purpose and then not knowing if it's going to line up. It was like killing me. So I definitely did everything I could to make sure the other ones were flawless. One more thing I want to say about the drop stitches is weave your ends in after you drop the stitches, because I dropped one of the stitches on the front. I think it was on the side actually. I dropped one of the stitches, but I had already woven in my end, so I wove it in over the stitch that I dropped, so it caught the stitch, and I wasn't even thinking at that time, so I just cut the stitch and then like I sewed it together so it wouldn't all come apart, and then I finished dropping the stitch, and then I did the same thing on the other side, and that's when I realized that it was the end that I had woven in. So instead of cutting the stitch like I did on the previous side, I unwove the end, dropped the stitch, and then rewove the end in. So if you're like me and you try to weave your ends in as you go, maybe on this project, just wait until you're all done. And yeah, but overall, I think it's very cute. It fits really well. It's nice and drapey. I really enjoy the yarn. Here's a little bit of a close-up. So it's a pale pink color, and it's got some like linen-y qualities. So there's like little, I don't know, just like extra little fibers. And this is what the drop stitch looks like. I am wearing a bra, and I don't really think you can see it that bad when you're, you know, wearing the tank top. So I think it is appropriate to wear with a bra as well if you want to wear it out, which I do want to make another one of these in a white color that I can wear out in public. I probably wouldn't wear this one because, like I said, it's a little bit short. I am a size 34B. For reference, if you guys want to know, I made the second size. Again, didn't gauge swatch, so I don't actually know if I'm on gauge with what she calls for, but there's that. And I just have my little denim shirt on over it as I do when I lounge. I had my pink one on when I took pictures, the one that I wore in last week's episode, because I liked the monochromatic thing, but I thought I would switch it up for you guys because you have seen that shirt enough already. So yeah. Anyways, moving right along, I have a half-finished object to talk to you guys about. I finished my first sock that I showed you last time that I had casted on. This is Once Upon a Corgi, which she changed her name, and I still haven't remembered to look what it was. Something and Plies. It's like Hellcats and Plies or something. I don't know. But this is what it looks like. This was called Rhineback Roomies, and it is on a BFL base. I just did my basic sock pattern, which is I cast on 64 stitches using Magic Loop on a size 0 2.25 millimeter knitting needle. And I did 15 rounds of 2x2 ribbing, 30 rounds for the leg, and then I did a slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset, and then just the foot and a wedge toe. And it did this cool like micro striping situation. I don't know. I think these would make really nice socks for a man, but there is no man in my life, just my dog, and these are not gonna fit his feet. Also, don't think he would really enjoy socks, but yeah. I think I'm going to love these, especially around Halloween. They give me this totally Halloween vibe, which is my favorite holiday. So, and these sock blockers, again, are from my friend Jenna at A Cute Design. I absolutely love them. So I just have my one sock currently on there hanging out, and I have cast it on for the other sock. And when I say cast it on, I literally mean I have cast it on, and that is it. That's all I have. I just casted on my 64 stitches. I did this yesterday because I was like, girl, if you don't do it, you're gonna have to do it when you're at work, or you're gonna have to do it when you're at that thing waiting, and you would rather just have it done. So this is what the yarn looks like in the cake, and that's what's happening. It is still living in my lunar bag. Love this bag, as I always talk about. Fits perfectly in my purse, which is exactly what I need. My purse is right here, so let me show you when I talk about how perfectly it fits. This is my bag, and I just put it in there like so, shut it, and it's perfect. I love it. This bag is by Fossil. I've had it for over a year now, and I've carried it every single day. It's my favorite thing ever because it holds my knitting perfectly, along with all my other crap, so yeah. All right, that was fun, and now let's get on to what I've been working on, which is none of the whips that I've showed you guys previously. It is a languishing whip that is living in this Tanny Casey bag that I've had for a while. I started the project that's in this bag over a year ago. Well, not over a year ago, just under a year ago. I started in June 2020. And it just got thrown to the back burner. It's not because I wasn't enjoying it or I didn't want to work on it. It's mostly because I had a lot of sample knits going on at that time. I was still navigating my new life. I was starting a new job and just trying to figure out what I wanted to do with things. So it got put on the back burner for that reason. But this is my Cloudsley top. It's going to be a little t-shirt, and I think it's by Isabel Kramer. And I am using Sweet Georgia's Flaxen Silk Light, which I believe is a silk linen blend. And this is in the colorway Pumpkin. I'm actually filming a yarn review for this video that I started over like in June whenever I started this project. So there will be a review on this yarn. I am an affiliate with Sweet Georgia, so I do get their yarn for free. And I got this yarn with the credit that I had. So it's going to be an honest review on the yarn because, I mean, why wouldn't I make it honest? But I just wanted to put that out there, that I do get the yarn for free and I do work with Sweet Georgia. But that doesn't change my opinion on how awesome this color is. Look at it! I'm not alternating skeins. Originally, I was going to start alternating skeins whenever I got to the body, but there is a pattern in the back of this top. So there's this little panel right here, and I don't want to deal with alternating skeins with that. So I'm not going to do it. I am going to stripe it in whenever I start getting low on the first skein, which I don't know when that's going to happen. This is only a t-shirt, so there's no sleeves on it. So I might have enough of one skein to make this top. I believe I'm making the second size, which is the size small. If I had cast it on now, I probably would have cast it on the size medium just because my body weight has changed a little bit and what I feel comfortable in, but we'll see. Again, I didn't gauge swatch for this. I just went in with it. I'm using I believe a 4. Yeah, I'm using a size 4mm knitting needle, and I'm just going to town. So basically, this pattern is really interesting because I've never done this before. It may not be interesting to you if you have done this, but for me, I've never knit a sleeve cap. So I've done raglans, which have like the seams on the front and the back, but this is a little bit different. I'm forming the sleeve. So I have a seam on the shoulder. So there's the shoulder seam, and then I started separating and adding increases on either side to create the sleeve cap. It's kind of hard to see with this color, I know, but it's been really interesting and I can't wait to see how it fits. And then on the neckline, it's kind of already done. Like, I don't need to go back later on and pick up the neckline. It's just a simple little V, and it's separated with like a pearl round there, so it gives you a nice finished edge. This is where I was the last time I showed this project, so I had barely gotten anything done. And this is my Tilting Planet little progress keeper. It's a little globe with stars in it. See if it can't focus. There we go. I love this progress keeper. I actually have two. Tilting Planet is my favorite Notions brand. I talk about them all the time. Actually, let me show you the thing I talk about all the time. So one of my favorite things from Tilting Planet is this little pouch thing that I have. Look how cute. It's just a little translucent pouch and it has a lot of glitter in it, and it's just colorful and fun and mixed matched, and I keep all my little circular needle stuff in there. So, and it fits perfectly in my little case. So if you guys want like fun little notions, Tilting Planet does a lot of little updates from here and there. She doesn't always have a ton of stuff, so you gotta grab it fast, but totally worth it. Love her stuff so much. But anyways, back to my cloud sleeve. I am just moving right along. I have the pattern memorized so far, which is great. Once you can get that little pattern memorized, it just makes it so much easier, so you don't have to keep going back in the pattern to see. Because in this pattern, the way it's set up, this slip stitch pattern is at the top of the pattern, and then you have to carry on with the pattern, so you kind of have to scroll back and forth if you don't print it out, which was annoying. But I got it memorized. It's very simple. It is just a series of slip stitches and some small cables. I'm cabling without a cable needle for it. It's very simple, but that is kind of what it's looking like. And this yarn is so soft. I think it's gonna be perfect for summer. It's very lightweight. It's honestly pretty similar to this fabric, so I know I'm gonna love it. And this color, I love this color. And it's just gonna have short little sleeves. There is on the bottom of this shirt, it's supposed to have the same pattern all the way around, just like one round of it, or like one repeat of it. I'm going to leave that off because I think that makes it a little bit more fancy than what I'm going for. And I want to just be able to like French tuck it in with a pair of shorts, and I don't want to mess with that pattern. So I am going to leave that off, and I'm just going to do a very basic little t-shirt. But I am very, very close to splitting for the sleeves. I have a couple of more increase rounds on the body and the sleeves, and then we will be separating for the sleeves, and hopefully this will fly off. So that is the Cloud Sleeve by Isabel Kramer. I am so glad to have pulled that back out. It's been a long time, and I do really want the top. So let me get a drink here before we wrap this up. All right, guys. So that's really all the knitting I have to talk about. I mean, in retrospect, it's a lot of knitting because I finished 2 items that were they're garments. Finished a sock, which I only work at work, so that's incredible. And, oh yeah, I made a tutorial for a crocheted cactus, so that was something I worked on as well. It was the last video I posted. If you guys haven't seen it, you should go check it out. I have a new work schedule, so I have Wednesdays and Sundays off, and then on Saturdays, I work every Saturday, but it's only until noon. So I have a lot more time to like focus on my YouTube stuff and my knitting stuff, which is really exciting for me. It's something that I really have been wanting to get back into and doing, and I also want to fix up my home as well. And the schedule I had before was really hard on keeping me motivated, so I'm really glad that I got to negotiate that new schedule. However, we have lost 9 people in 3 weeks at my job, so I may be looking for new employment coming soon. It's not something I really wanted or thought was going to happen sometime soon. I really wanted to be at a place for long term and get settled in, but there are a lot of very big issues happening at my current place of employment that may lead to me deciding to leave. So it's a really big bummer. I did, like I said, really want to just be settled into a place and feel comfortable, have it easy, the schedule easy, so I could focus on my lunar knits a little bit more. But I'm gonna do what I have to do to make sure that I am staying happy and healthy inside and out, because I have been feeling great lately. Really happy, motivated, inspired, just all the things that make me feel more creative, which is awesome. And I know like little bumps in the road can really hinder that sometimes for me, but I'm doing the best I can to stay really strong and like focused. So yes. other than that kind of stuff, not much is going on. The house hasn't made any strides. I did have somebody come measure for new floors, so hopefully I will be getting some like LVT flooring soon, like hardwood type of floor, because this carpet has to go. I'm sorry, it's not, I just hate it. I hate the carpet. It's old. It's just, but that is the next project I'm hoping to do in the house, is getting the floors done. I think I'm gonna get another quote somewhere else. The quote that I got was a little higher than I wanted to pay, but I still think I'm gonna go with it if I can't get another quote that's better. So, I mean, it was fair. The guy was great. He was honest with me, and I really liked that about him and his company. So, I don't know. That's what I am working on right now, is getting the flooring done. I've got a lot of big paperwork sent out and mailed for other things in my life that will be really refreshing to get all finished and start moving on a little further from things. So I'm feeling really good, and I really appreciate you guys sending me so many kind messages over on Instagram and watching the podcast and leaving nice comments and just starting conversations in my little community of the internet. And if you guys have any questions or comments or just want to say hello, leave a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel for more content. I will see you guys in the next video. Sorry this one was kind of short, but I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!